Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle Plug. It is time to review the Royal Rumble. You're probably sitting there thinking, hang about, you normally review these things straight afterwards. Well, I'm bloody busy, so you can wait, Lee Meeks. Always up in my inbox, you cheeky beggar. Shout out to my boy Lee, because apparently if he got more predictions right than he got wrong, he said he wanted a shout out. So here's your shout out. Congratulations, Lee Meeks. You are now being mentioned on the podcast. By the way, thank you very much for always supporting our content, mate. That is greatly appreciated. I'm the Egyptian Death Machine, Aeron X. Joining me to review the Royal Rumble is something very exciting. It is, of course, the better half of Silent and the Death Machine. It is SilentMark. One word.
Hello.
Oosh.
Hello.
Lovely to have you.
How are you?
I'm excited about this because you're not as regular a watcher. You're not as basically you're not a sad virgin who spends all his life watching wrestling. But you do work in wrestling, which is very good for us.
It's one of those where I'd love to watch it more, but with work and kids and being exhausted, the thought of watching a 3-hour show.
Yeah, and this was 4.5.
Yes.
But it is the Royal Rumble, isn't it? It's kind of different, It's special in that regard. So before we get started, by the way, you're going to be in action this weekend, aren't you?
I am. I'm doing that.
Yeah, you're the MC
this weekend.
Odyssey Pro Wrestling.
Odyssey Pro Wrestling. Yes.
Are they doing the Rumble?
We are doing the Rumble. It's our Overboard Rumble, our second ever one. That is a surprise.
That's a yes, if I ever heard one.
I'm not. Weirdly, I actually had a dream about it the other day where I was.
Who did you eliminate?
I didn't.
You didn't? Who eliminated you?
No. Nobody.
Nobody. You just stood in the middle. Oh, did you just cower in the corner like a lot of people do in these things?
No, I did it myself. Because somebody wasn't there or something. And they went, just put SilentMark's name up. So when it came up, I'm like, SilentMark, I'm not in it. And it was like, no, get in the ring. Get in the ring. So I went in the ring. And one of the big lads came up to me to do something. I just went to stop. And I went over the rope myself and fucked off.
That is absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. Yeah.
Would you want to be on the end of one of Synergy? That's the main question. Synergy are the big buggers.
The big meaty bastards.
No, it wasn't them. It was Reese and Rogan.
Really?
Yes. Because we've always had a bit of a tiff, me and Reese and Rogan. They always mess about with me and stuff, and I always take the mick out of them online. So when I went in the ring, they were the two that came up to me. And I just went, no. And then fucked off.
Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you who didn't fuck off. And that is the winners of the Royal Rumbles from this past weekend. So, Royal Rumble, 51,000 people in the Alamo Dome to witness what is, let's be honest, the best pay-per-view in all of wrestling. It just is. WrestleMania is incredible. It's a great spectacle, but the Royal Rumble is truly where we get our fix. And the show opens proper with the men's Royal Rumble, which was a real shock for me. I was like, wait, what? Okay, we're getting down to business. Very early doors. Two things that really stood out to me were Gunther, who was fucking incredible, my wrestler of the year, proving thus why he is wrestler of the year, going from number 1 to 30, lasting an hour and 11 minutes, setting a new record in the Rumble. Ultimately, unfortunately, not winning, although he did tie for the most eliminations with the eventual winner, who was number 30, Cody Rhodes. What did you think of the men's Royal Rumble, and are you pleased with the winner?
Brilliant. I absolutely adored it. There was the usual stuff. There's a lot of things in the Rumble where it's the usual bits. There will be usual set pieces. For example, New Day coming out, working together for a bit, going, oh, are we going to fight? And then one of them immediately gets chucked out.
And almost dying in
fucking
this
happens.
case. Did you see what happened with Kofi Kingston? He went yeeted off the apron. And I don't...
And got his back, didn't he?
I think his head crashed into the announce table and it actually genuinely fucked him up. But the idea that he was meant to, I think, land on the chair and then go back in. That's what it certainly looked like from what I was looking at. It was quite a nasty little moment.
Yeah, because they've done that a couple of times, haven't they?
Yeah, remember last year he botched it, didn't he? And unfortunately, his feet hit the floor when they weren't supposed to, and everyone was like, "Nope!" Like they couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
Like it, the spot. And I thought after that, yeah, they're going to stop doing these because once it's lost, it's lost. Or once you've made a mistake, it doesn't have the same kind of magic to me.
Yeah.
And then obviously with Naomi not being in the company right now, she can't do it with the women's either. So yeah, it was a nice novelty while it lasted. It went on for many, many years, to be fair. So I feel like it's played its course. But you're right about the set pieces. There were a lot of set pieces in this, right? There always is. One thing I really like about modern Rumbles, as opposed to the old ones from like the early 90s, is like if you go back and watch those, there's no wrestling in them. It's just loads of guys brawling, and then every now and then elimination, and Hulk Hogan wins, whatever. With these, there's actual wrestling in them, and there's stars, and they're doing different spots and things like that. Who stood out to you?
I'd never seen Gunter wrestle before. As I said, I don't watch much. He was amazing. Cody coming back was amazing. When Edge came out, that was fucking brilliant. You knew it was going to happen, but fuck beans, it was good.
But it must be good for you because you're not one of these sad fuckers. Like I try and stay away from dirt sheets, but where I'm constantly working in a business, I'm always going to be exposed to spoilers or things coming out. For you, like you'd have to actively seek those out to really have a handle on who's going to be the most obvious predictions in a Rumble. So for you can enjoy it much more as a mark, pun intended.
Yeah. I only knew that he was coming back because it's the way story works in my head. Judgment Day kicked him out and he's not been there since. Yeah. So what's going to happen? He's either going to come back. Yeah. He's either going to come back at Royal Rumble, which would be huge, but they telegraphed the matches way beforehand. So he can't really do a surprise, or he'd come back in the Royal Rumble as an entrant.
What do you think about the Rey Mysterio angle? Because obviously Rey was meant to be in it and then he doesn't come out and comes out with a mark. So apparently Rey Mysterio isn't cleared to wrestle due to injury, but he was there anyway. And a lot of people said, well, why did he just drag him out, beaten and bloodied or whatever with his mask? If you want to hide his face, cool, he could just be like that on the floor. We all know what his face looks like. If you search it, you can actually find it. It's on WCW. It's on the network, actually. So it's not like a real kayfabe buster at this point to see Rey Mysterio without a mask. But, I felt that was one of my biggest disappointments was, okay, so he's stolen his dad's spot. Could you not at least have stopped his music and then played Dominic's music and he comes out, or have Dominic drag Rey Mysterio out? Instead, he just walks out to his dad's music, tries to rip the mask, which he can't because he's a fucking twink, which was hilarious. Yeah. And then he gets to the ring. I have no problem with Dominic's character now, this douchebag who thinks he's like a hardcore prison gangster just because he was in a holding cell for 2 hours. That's funny. But it really kind of ruined the suspension and disbelief because you had Rey Mysterio there. Could you not have at least just dragged him out? It would have made a lot more sense.
See, I kind of liked it because, again, he didn't come out and then that was it. And then the next entrant was Dominic, who came out properly.
Well, no, Dominic I thought that Dominic was never officially in the Rumble. That was the point.
Yeah. But I kind of liked it. I liked the fact that he didn't, that there was the emptiness there. There was the empty spot. Yeah. It was a nice little thing of what the fuck's happened to him.
Got a couple of surprises, right? You got Booker T as well. So.
Yeah. That was
he was in amazing
Booker
shape.
T was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for his age, it's fucking brilliant. But yeah, Booker T was there. I'm trying to think who else was there.
Edge sort of made his return, which we kind of knew was going to happen. I'm a little bit disappointed that they ruined the Beth Phoenix angle. They just kind of spunked it. The problem was we all knew that Rhea Ripley was going to win the women's. That was kind of the big prediction, and everyone felt that. So if she had come out in the women's Rumble and Rhea Ripley had still won, people would have been like, well, what's the fucking point of her coming back? So I think that's why they had it during the men's where, Beth appears and spears her. I felt like it was really kind of a little bit lackluster because ultimately the reason we haven't seen Beth Phoenix is because Rhea Ripley gave her a concerto. So she smashed a steel chair over her head, which essentially is borderline trying to kill somebody. You're trying to cave somebody's skull in. And then her response to this is to come out looking sick, it has to be said. And while her husband's getting beaten up, spear the woman. And she's like, haha, revenge. Really? Just a spear? I would have literally tried to rip the woman's skin off if she'd done that to me. So it just from that perspective, I was like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. And personally, I feel like Beth Phoenix could have made a much bigger draw if she had been, say, like number 2 in the Rumble. That would have been pretty cool.
I get you. I get what you mean. It would have been so much better, and it would have actually meant a lot more with Rhea Ripley's win if she'd have come out beating the shit out of her, and then Rhea still went in at number 2 and won the fucking thing. Because it shows how much of a beast she fucking is.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the be all and end all, but I mean, you know, as you know, I'm going to be hypercritical of things like that. And I think when they're the biggest game in town as well, it's much easier for us to kind of find the critiques in it. And there was obviously a couple in the women's rumble that really stood out, a couple of high profile botches. But I thought overall it was good. I must admit, when Cody was I didn't like Cody being number 30. Because then you automatically, like, we already knew he was probably going to win anyway. But to really hammer it home by having him at number 30, I was like, at least have him come out at like 15 or 16 and win it, you know? It just kind of, I was like, oh, okay, so we know who knows. First of all, you've ruined number 30 because we already know who that is because you announced Cody. Don't announce Cody Rhodes before the run. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just have him come out at number 30 and everyone's like, yeah, Cody Rhodes is back. Yes, we all know, but at least then there's some magic, especially for the kids. You know, the kids watching it. If they watch Raw and SmackDown, well, they already know because they announced Cody Rhodes is coming back. So, yeah, they're still excited. And yes, we were happy to see him. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, he's number 30. So I know he's going to fucking win. Lesnar came out, which was cool. I love the stare off between Lesnar and Gunther because for me, that's like a fucking money matchup. For me, Gunther is the only guy left who really physically looks like he can take the belt off of Reigns. Like, as much as I think Cody Rhodes is probably going to win the title at Mania, which is fine. But then it's also that thing of, man, like Roman Reigns has overcome all these incredible beasts, like, you know, Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, and he's beating Kevin Owens, and he's, you know, there's obviously we got a lot to talk about with Roman Reigns at the end of the show because that was insane. But he's gone through literally everyone. And then we're supposed to believe that Cody Rhodes, who is a star, no question, but doesn't look like he's not a monster. He's not a big powerhouse. He's not a crazy athlete. He's just Mr. Wrestling in many ways. I just think he's a little bit of a lackluster guy to finally end Roman Reigns' reign of, like, you know, almost 3 years as champion. I feel like Gunther looks like he's better prepared for that. But on the upside, this match pretty much cemented Gunther as one of the big names in the company, which was great because ultimately he deserves it. And also, he made the Intercontinental title look even more spectacular than I thought he ever could have. He's been IC champion for a good 6 months or so now, and he's beaten everybody. He's had those 5-star matches with Sheamus and Rey Mysterio and Ricochet, and now he's gone an hour and 11 minutes in a Rumble. And I like the fact that it took quite a while to get the last elimination. You thought, oh, okay, normally it's like, quick turnaround, boom, there he goes. Instead, it was like 10 minutes of them just going after each other, probably because they wanted Gunther to have the new record, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. But it's still made for really good dramatic television because you were like, oh, it could possibly. And by the end of it, I was desperate for Gunther to eliminate Rhodes. I wanted Gunther to win. So, you know, but he'll have his moment in the sun, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are you excited for Reigns versus Rhodes? You think that's worthy of being the main event of WrestleMania?
No. But because I think a match like that, even though it deserves to be to be the main event, I also think it's standard. It's going to be a standard.
Obvious? It's too predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too predictable to have a match like that. Because, yeah, it's going to go either one way or the other. Either they're not ready for Roman Reigns to give up the title yet because they've still got some sort of story coming up, or Cody Rhodes is the big name in the company at the moment, so they want him to be the one that takes the belt off him. Both of those standard. So
I think Sami Zayn should win it. Like, it's a big stretch because he is quite a smaller guy now, but the storyline is perfect for Sami Zayn to get his redemption and win the belt, which would be incredible. And think of the pop because he's the most over guy in all of wrestling. Like, the place would erupt if he beat Roman Reigns for the title, especially if like Kevin Owens interfered or Jey Uso actually full on turned on Reigns and super kicked him, and then Sami like haluva kicks him immediately and gets the win. The place would go fucking bananas, absolute bananas.
It really would.
But yeah, no, I mean, Cody Rhodes winning, it's fine. I would have preferred Gunther, but then at the same time, Gunther still came over strong. What do you think about Logan Paul with the there were two things that stood out. One was the aerial clash with Ricochet, and then the other thing was, of course, the fact that he eliminated Seth Rollins, potentially setting up him versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
That part was fucking incredible. That jump. I despise the man. Absolute fucking scammer extraordinaire.
Crypto
Utter
cunt.
Yeah. But that bit was great. I couldn't give a shit about who he fights. He's good at it.
Heel, though, isn't he? He's a built-in heel. I hate him.
Well, because he is a cunt.
Yeah.
But the best heels are nice in real life.
Shawn Michaels. Knob jockey in real life.
Never.
Absolutely.
Don't know much about him.
I mean, it for the most part, like a lot of heels tend to be nice guys. Like Kevin Owens, for instance, played heel for a lot of his career, and he's a lovely guy. But you know, like there's obviously always going to be examples on either side. I think Logan Paul is just ready-made to be a star. He just looks like a star. His match with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia was amazing. He had an amazing match with The Miz. He doesn't have bad matches, which is amazing for a guy who is, you know, like it's one of those things, like we were talking, weren't we, yesterday on Silent Death Machine, about separating the human being from the craft or the art of what they're performing. And Logan Paul is probably the most extreme version we have of that in WWE, isn't he? Because ultimately, he's a shit human being. He's got a terrible podcast. He's a sexist. He's a scamming crypto knob jockey. £30 for an energy drink. Get in the fucking bin. Like, who's paying that to fucking drink a piece of shit? Like, I'm not ever going to drink a bottle of Prime unless it's free. Like, no chance. I cannot, for the life of me.
I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to get, if someone gives me a free bottle of Prime, I'm going to watch whilst children, no, I'm going to look at kids in the eye whilst I pour it down a drain.
That is absolute money. Like, we'll do it on the podcast.
Fucking happily. Utter cunts.
You
and
doing
anyone
a
that
10-minute
buys into that.
of how much you hate Logan Paul and then pouring it away while all the kids watch.
And anyone that buys into that shit, you deserve to get scammed.
Cameron Anderson,
you are a cunt.
Scammer and Anderson.
It says everything I need to know. Dude likes fucking Logan Paul, Prime Energy, and Avatar. What else is he going to do? Like fucking dogs.
That is extreme virgin energy, isn't it, for somebody who gets laid a lot?
Yeah.
He's
very much so.
Boy. What an absolute cretin. Well, that was the men's rumble. Anything else that really stood out to you? Anybody that jumped out that you thought, oh, that guy's really fucking good?
I had a bit of a thought just then. I don't think, again, this is my story brain going, because I think this works. Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens get involved, which means disqualification. Reigns keeps the title anyway. Money in the bank.
Or you could do that night one and then night two have Sami Zayn win the title.
No, Money in the Bank.
Ready? You think they'll give us the biggest thing? They'll put it in the UK for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn gets it the same night he cashes it in against Roman Reigns right after Cody Rhodes loses again.
That would be fucking gangster, to be fair. Now, all of a sudden,
I should be right.
I need to put $1,000 aside so I can guarantee I'm at Money in the Bank now, because I have to see.
I should write for WWE.
Yeah. Sami Zayn is the perfect guy to win Money in the Bank and cash it in on Reigns. That's genius. Absolute genius.
I think I was one pay-per-view out for my prediction. I said that Sami was going to go with Kevin Owens at the last pay-per-view.
Yes, yeah.
And turn against him.
You said it would happen in Survivor Series, didn't you?
Yeah, but no, they did it in this one. So I was one early.
Close. You were close. Like, I thought they would keep. I thought he would turn at WrestleMania. That's what I thought, because that's the biggest platform to do it. And then it would build from there, and then you could build all the way to maybe SummerSlam, Zayn versus Reigns. But you know, obviously they've pulled the trigger here, as we'll talk about a little bit later. Yeah, no, I did enjoy the men's rumble. I'm really looking forward to Lashley versus Lesnar too. I think that would be great. I think that would be. I really hope they give us that a version of that at Money in the Bank as well, because that would be fucking incredible to see in person. Those two fucking whopper units trying to kill each other. But that's probably going to be
something that I quite liked was that they didn't, apart from Booker T, they didn't pull out any old names just for niceties and stuff. Yeah, it was all either only just gone, just coming back, or Booker T. And it all had...
You preferred the fact that they were all guys who are active on the roster, so to speak.
Not just that, it all seemed like it made sense that they were there. So even if they aren't active on the roster, it made sense that they were there. And everyone worked their asses off. No one was in for like a 2-second and out.
That wasn't the case in the women's, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. But
we will get
still funny.
So the second match was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black massive sponsorship Neon Berlin sex nightclub match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Bray Wyatt's first official match back since he returned in his somewhat new gimmick. This was a UV spectacular that I have never ever seen before. Something fresh, something new, it has to be said. This garnered a lot of hatred on the internet. People didn't like it. They said it wasn't dark enough. Ultimately, so I thought the pitch black part was going to be the gimmick, but actually pitch black is the name of the drink as well. So we're back on the sponsorship. I'm surprised they didn't get Prime to fucking sponsor this piece of shit. That'll be at WrestleMania. The Seth Rollins Prime pit match. I don't fucking know. But this was LA Knight, you know, wrestling in front of 51,000 people for the first time, which is very fucking cool because I really like LA Knight. I feel like he has the potential to be like the next Rock. He was
great. He was great.
And he's against Bray Wyatt, so the match itself was, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. I thought it was fine. I liked the spectacle. My issue was that it was too colorful for what Bray Wyatt's supposed to be. Bray Wyatt's supposed to be much darker, you know, this sinister entity. So when I'm seeing neon yellow explosions out of the announce table, I'm like, very video game-esque, and I bet it appealed to young people very nicely, which was fine. The one thing that really I loved, though, was his UV paint and the fact that when the lights turned on, he became this fucking evil-looking Kratos neon sinister Ragnarok lunatic, which was fucking sick. But I know that you, in particular, are a very big fan of this.
I am. I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt anyway. When I first properly got into wrestling a couple of years back, he was a guy that properly hooked me in, just because of the character, because of the whole Fireflies thing back then. And so I've adored his progression. There have been brief moments where WWE didn't quite know what to do with him, and I'm thinking this is another one of them, because I don't quite think they know what they're going to do. They're not letting him off the reins as much as they should do.
No, LA Knight's strange first opponent, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think it had legs. The idea that he could go further with this Two-Face style character. So he goes in again as himself, and then all of a sudden the lights go off, neon comes on, and he's something completely fucking different. The fact that all over the announce table, all over the boxes backstage, where his little fucking death moth was a beautiful little thing. My only criticism of the whole thing was it was too short.
It was quite short.
It was just too short a match. When it started, it had finished.
I didn't like the ending that much either. With Uncle Howdy doing the elbow drop afterwards, which, by the way, he missed by about 2 feet, which didn't help.
Yeah, he did. He
He totally missed. What's funny is they showed a slow-mo replay of him missing. I was like, why are you doing that? That's making it worse.
Yeah.
And I like the characters coming out from above him, like the Firefly Funhouse characters. I'm not sure I want to see any more of the Firefly Funhouse. I really like the rabbit. I think he's quite adorable. He's quite cute in a way. Like he's like this kind of like really shaky, nervous character. He's a bit sinister because he keeps killing him all the time, doesn't he? And resurrecting him. It's very strange. But I just feel like, okay, I've seen enough of that in your last run. I want to get away from that, and I want fresh content with new sinister characters. I also wasn't overly a big fan of the fact that after the match had finished, he then went into super mega Ultron undefeatable mode where he was getting smashed over the head with a kendo stick, and it wasn't having any like kind of. I didn't like that. I was just like,
you see, I did like that. Because that's when the demon came out.
Stalker kind of thing that was going on there.
Yeah. So I will take the movie. Is it Split? Yeah, Split. James McAvoy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. So you get one personality that's quite normal, and if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. And then he goes into his other personality that's fucking indestructible. For me, that is what those two things were. There was the Bray Wyatt that came out. There was the Bray Wyatt that was in the ring, and then as soon as he put the mask on, he was the indestructible one. It's a nice three-way persona where he's still trying to be good, but there is a beast inside, but there's also a fucking demon. I like that.
I think stuff like that is belied by all the color. So in that moment, then they should have killed the UV stuff. I think it would have had more satisfaction for me watching it. If all of a sudden he just kind of puts the mask on, UV disappears, all of a sudden he's just this menacing looking psychopath, and then he's stalking.
But how are you going to keep that dark?
Well,
how are you going to keep it dark at that point?
The thing with me is, I get it. It's not going to be realistic, is it? Like, you have to suspend your disbelief here. So if you can't suspend your disbelief, you're not going to like it full stop. And that would have been the case with The Undertaker as well, because come on, the guy's getting fucking lightning bolts to hit coffins and stuff like that, and he's coming out of the ground. Like, of course, it's not fucking real. He's a zombie, whatever. But with this, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, like the elbow drop, for instance, then fire just randomly appears from random places. And it's like, is this supposed to be a representation of hell? Because if it is, it's shit. I just thought it looked a bit, you don't need the fire in that scenario. You've already got the UV stuff, which is a massive gimmick. For me, it was too heavily gimmicked, and I think that's why it wasn't as enjoyable for me. I didn't hate it at any point. There wasn't a point where I thought, this is shit, I don't want to watch this. I was not like the internet. I wasn't that dramatic. Like, I still enjoyed it. But one of the problems with this as well is this is very much a one-off. We're not going to get this match again because because the Mountain Dew Pitch Black actually ended yesterday. That's it. They're not doing it anymore for the rest of the year. That's the other thing. So I'm supposed to watch this in the sense of, here's LA Knight, this cocky gobshite who's going to get fucking beaten the shit out of eventually by this demonic evil demon that's inside of this good person who's, he's being pulled between the dark and the light of who he is. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, actually, the only thing I can think of is Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, because there's just fucking sponsors and color everywhere. And for me, it takes away from the character, because I know for a fact, first of all, I'm not going to see another Pitch Black match for at least a year. And to be honest, I don't think this is a match you can do regularly. This doesn't have the same kind of feeling as like Hell in a Cell or a Steel Cage where you can use it to end a rivalry. So that was my issue with it. I think the guys themselves put on a decent enough match. One of the big complaints Bray Wyatt gets is that he's not very good at working, that he's all gimmick. Did you feel that way watching this? Did you enjoy like the actual wrestling of it?
I've always enjoyed his wrestling.
Maybe that's why
I've always enjoyed what he does.
Maybe that's why it was short, because he's not the kind of guy who's going to go out like Gunter and have a 45-minute classic.
Yeah, but you don't want... There are two types of matches. There's one that's all story and all gimmick. There's one that's all story and all gimmick, and one that's all story and all wrestling. You got that in the Kevin Owens match. There was a lot of story, but fuck me, there's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
You don't... In a gimmick match, you don't need that. But it shouldn't have been as short as it was.
I mean,
I think I genuinely think a small independent Brit Rest show had a longer match than that one.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes and 5 seconds, which is very short. To be fair, though, the next match wasn't that much longer. Bianca Belair successfully defended her Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss, who's still struggling with the whole, am I evil? Is Bray Wyatt pulling me in? We saw that at the end of the match. I think Bianca Belair is the best women's wrestler in the world. I think she just looks incredible. She's powerful. She's one of those women that I feel like this is, like, I imagine super woke people will think I'm being insulting. What I love about Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley and women of that ilk, Charlotte Flair as well, is that they wrestle a style very similar to the men, where they don't, you know, they're beautiful, but they don't wrestle like the women of 10, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? The Kelly Kellys of the world, the ones who kind of came out, they're very pretty, they're beautiful to look at, but you can just tell that they are a notch below the men because ultimately they're just fancy looking models who happen to have got some wrestling training. Whereas this is actually a world-class fucking athlete, just like Ronda Rousey, where you think, I can believe that she can whip my ass. Like, I don't believe that Kelly Kelly can beat me up, but I believe that Bianca Belair certainly fucking can. Do you feel like that should be it as far as Alexa Bliss going near the title? Like, because that's how I feel. Like, okay, you've had your fun. Go off and do your weird fucking shit that you're going to do now. Because ultimately, I don't believe that in any format should Alexa Bliss be able to beat Bianca Belair.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. Again, I remember when she became big in WWE and was champion for a bit, and you know, she was a stereotypical bitch that was trying to look like Harley Quinn and that. And she carried it well. She did carry it well. I loved the dark character, the dark Alexa, because I have problems.
I mean, she was
I wish. I wish they'd have done.
I hated it. Didn't like it.
Well, the match or the gimmick?
The gimmick, because for me, not in this match. I mean, when she was the dark part, when she was with Bray Wyatt, because all of a sudden we weren't wrestling anymore. Like, for instance, she was able to, like, you know, basically withstand damage just because she was harnessing the power of the supernatural. And I thought that works if you're Bray Wyatt or The Undertaker, because you're still fucking massive. But this is a tiny little blonde girl. And now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that she can hang physically with a Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair? No, too much of a suspension of disbelief for me. Which is why I was glad Bianca Belair won in about 7 minutes. I thought the match was fine.
You know, we're talking about wrestling, right?
Yeah, but even then, you got to admit, wrestling is better when it still has an element of real to it.
I disagree. I like the pantomime of it all.
See, I think you can have pantomime and still have reality. Case in point, Gunther is great pantomime villain in many ways, but I also believe that if he chops me, that my soul is going to leave my body. Because it fucking will, because he's hard. Whereas if Alexa Bliss gets in the ring with Bianca Belair and just beats her up, I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Not in any sense would she even remotely. It's like, you know, for instance, when Brock Lesnar faced Rey Mysterio, right, for the title many moons ago now, what made that work was the fact that Rey Mysterio was like, look, I'm tiny, so I need to use speed and agility and pace to get around him. So I'm going to duck through his legs. I'm going to hit him and run, you know, very much hit and run tactics. With Alexa Bliss, she just tried to meet Bianca Belair head on and just got squashed because that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like,
I do like the idea.
Bianca Belair is a much bigger draw for me than Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah. No, that is, yeah.
Because that's two fucking
when it comes from
two most powerful women in the company kicking the shite out of each other. And I can believe in that match that Rhea Ripley will overcome Bianca Belair using her physicality and also her mean streak. That is the perfect, beautiful, good girl heel versus the evil, you know, gothic-like entity, the one with all the daddy issues, that kind of it. That's perfect. That looks like Batman versus Joker to me. That's what that looks like. That looks fucking gangster. With this is more like Harley Quinn versus fucking Swamp Thing. Like, okay, like, yeah, sure, she's got charisma and she's nice to look at and she's a bit gnarly, but ultimately the other person should be smashing her up because she's tiny.
I don't think in this incarnation of WWE that she would get a title belt or a title shot, especially against Bianca Belair. Later on down the line, that may change. The idea of her taking the step back and going for the dark side again. Yeah, and then I can imagine her doing it, but bringing the gimmick in with it.
I'm worried that the gimmick's going to go back to too much supernatural shit where she's randomly spewing out black tar at WrestleMania and stuff, which I thought was trash. I just didn't see the point. I feel like with Undertaker, because a lot of people will say, you don't like that, but you like Undertaker. And I'm like, yeah, but even with The Undertaker, there was still that semblance of this guy's 6'10", 328 pounds. So I can believe that when a smaller guy hits him, that he can absorb that damage and basically not sell it and fuck you up. Because realistically, if I got in a fight with someone like The Undertaker, yeah, I could probably punch him in the face, but he's going to fucking kill me. Like, I feel like there's certain ways you can get around a lack of realism. But for me, when I look at Alexa Bliss, I think you're 5'2", 5'3", very pretty, very good on the mic, great talker. But for me, I'm like, yeah, there is no way in hell you should be beating Bianca Belair for a title. Absolutely not.
If that's the case, then what's the point in having someone like Braun Strowman or anyone like that in the company?
Well, because he's facing people who are similar in his size and ilk for a lot of the time. For instance, Saudi Arabia, he faced Omos. He's always in rivalries with big guys. He faced Gunther recently for the IC title, and Gunther was kind of able to overcome him by just by the skin of his teeth. That was really well done, that was, because ultimately he also had Imperium at ringside being shithouses and kind of causing a distraction. So with someone like him, it's a case of, but then again, like, for instance, Akira Tozawa, right? Very nice little wrestler, Japanese guy, very small. I don't expect him to beat Braun Strowman under any circumstances, especially after I've just seen him lose to Rhea Ripley on Raw. So why would I believe that Braun Strowman of that size would have any problem dispatching him? Whereas with Ricochet, people might say, yeah, he's small and he's flippy, but he is jacked, he is powerful, and he is the pinnacle of athleticism. So he can do incredible hit and run maneuvers, very much like Rey Mysterio. So you've got to have...
So do you think in this situation there should be more weight classes in theory?
In some senses, yes. And I think ultimately that's why they have things like that's why they have a women's title. Because otherwise, we also know WWE's not going to do intergender, which is a real shame, because I feel like Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, they could whip some of these men's asses and it would look sick.
Really
and we saw it, and they tease it every now and then, which is what they did on Raw. They had Rhea Ripley beat Akira Tozawa, and it was good. I really enjoyed it, and people were like so jarred by it because they're not used to seeing it. They didn't like it, and I actually thought that's actually really cool. Like, because Rhea Ripley is a big, meaty, sexy woman. Like, she got fuck you up. She's muscular and she's powerful, and she was bigger than Akira Tozawa. So I actually believe that, but when I see Alexa Bliss, it's like, that's too far on the other end of the scale for me. So Alexa Bliss facing Liv Morgan, for instance, yeah, I can believe that she can sneak a win or whatever, or she could roll up even a Sasha Banks or a Naomi. But this is the other end of the spectrum. Bianca Belair, big, muscular, powerful athlete, and also Bianca Belair has beaten like Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. She's knocked off Bayley. She's knocked off basically all of the best talents other than Rhea Ripley, which is perfect for Mania, and frankly, that should main event one of the nights, in my opinion, because it's that good. Yeah, but it's really that thing of, with Alexa Bliss, I feel like she's just too far on the other end of the spectrum, where I'm like, I cannot suspend my disbelief enough to believe that she's going to beat someone like Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair anymore. Like, I know she probably has in the past, and fine, good for them for doing it. And nobody's saying she's a bad wrestler or that she can't work, because she can, and all this sort of stuff. But to me, if you remove all of the flim flam and you just look at them as, here's two wrestlers, Bianca Belair is streets ahead of her anyway in terms of talent. Like, and you can see that in the way they do their moves. Like Bianca Belair, the smoothness, the kip ups, the movement, the power, even the athleticism, the way she's able to fly about. Whereas then you watch Alexa Bliss and it's quite janky, and it's a little bit slow, and it's a little bit too kind of like, oh, look at me, I'm doing a fancy little flip and I'm rolling around, and it's like, and Bianca Belair's like, fuck you, I'm gonna close on your head off, because like, that's just the way it is. I think she's too superior.
So do you think that Well, there's two things here. One, do you think then that people like Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan are very much mid-card women's now?
For me, like Liv Morgan, what made her good as SmackDown Women's Champion is because she used Money in the Bank to cash in on Ronda Rousey. She took advantage of her when she was knackered. Because in a straight up fight where they're both healthy, we saw what happened. She lost. You know, she put up as much of a fight as she could, but she tapped out because ultimately Ronda Rousey is a UFC bantamweight women's champion. And Liv Morgan is admittedly, the most beautiful woman alive, obviously to me. But she's one of those women where it's like, yeah, you're okay, but in a completely level playing field, no chance. And that's why that worked. Because I know what people will say when they listen to this. They'll be like, well, hang about. You love Liv Morgan. You loved her as champion. Yeah, because she was able to overcome those odds by taking advantage as an opportunist with Money in the Bank. If she had just walked straight up to Ronda Rousey, who was stood there waiting for her, yeah, she would have got slapped around, and rightfully so.
And the other bit, I forgot.
Fair enough.
So fuck it, carry on.
All right, cracking stuff. But to be fair, Bianca Belair wins, and I think that's right because going into WrestleMania, Bianca Belair has to be champion because, let's be honest, whether people want to admit it or not, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley is a much bigger draw than Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah. Fucking is. That was it. I figured it out. So, do you think that Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss, do you think they're the tail end of the you're beautiful and you like wrestling so you can wrestle?
I think they are much more of an evolution than the women that we saw 15 or 20 years ago because they work harder and they do hit harder, but they still, for me, don't match up to a Bianca Belair, a Charlotte Flair, even a Becky Lynch, who's actually smaller than those women. So for me, it's that thing of like, yeah, sure, I have no problem with them wrestling them, but I would have been extremely peeved if Alexa, obviously she was never going to win anyway, because ultimately we know what they want and it's always going to be Belair versus Ripley. But it's that thing of, yeah, that's fine. You've got in there, you've put up as good a fight as possible, but ultimately Bianca Belair has, for the most part, dominated, as she should, because for me, it's that thing of, there's nothing wrong with you being a great character, there's nothing wrong with you being in the main event level and stuff like that, but at the same time, not everyone has to win either. And there's this mentality of, I like this person, so therefore they should be a champion. I really like Chad Gable. Should he be beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? No.
So do you think then a match with a gimmick Alexa Bliss versus a champion Bianca Belair, do you think at any other pay-per-view it would be acceptable for her to lose the belt at that point? Do you think it was more to do with the show that it was, and because it was so close to WrestleMania?
I think the only way that I would even remotely accept it is if there was outside interference. So, for instance, if she had like a more powerful woman in her corner, like Tamina as a bodyguard or something, who then caused more damage on the outside, and that's ultimately where the problem lies. Because, from what I can tell, Alexa Bliss is drifting back towards the Wyatt the Wyatt stuff and the darkness, because we've seen Uncle Howdy appear on Raw. I don't know if you saw, they showed a brief highlight before the match where Uncle Howdy had like just appeared randomly. I don't really like the Uncle Howdy thing. It just seems a bit dumb and a bit silly for me. He just looks like a supernatural hillbilly, which doesn't work for me as much. Why can't he just be supernatural without all the ho 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 ho? I don't get the
point. Because they are hillbillies. That's the whole point of the Wyatt family. They are hillbillies.
Yeah, but Bray Wyatt isn't represented as one of those anymore. Hillbillies don't fucking
Not
go
anymore,
to UV raves.
But it's still the basis.
When
of
he first came
there.
in, absolutely, he was Hillbilly White. He had the rocking chair and stuff like that, and it was very Deliverance-esque for anyone who's seen that movie. And if you do want to watch that movie, just be warned, there are some very graphic things in it. But it's some trigger warnings, basically. But it's that thing of, for me, like, there's hillbilly kind of DNA, but with Uncle Howdy, one of the other big problems is he's much smaller than Bray Wyatt. So it's like, for me, it's just an actual, he looks like a cowboy, and I don't get that. Like, why does he need to be a cow? Why does he need to be Uncle Howdy? Why can't he just be Uncle Wyatt and a little bit more sinister? I feel like he's not serious enough. He's too comical. He's comedic. Also, why do they dubbing laughter over him is not going to make me like him more.
Yeah, but take it back a step. look at the characters that are coming out. They're basically the 3 stages of Wyatt. You've got Uncle Howdy, which is a hillbilly friend. You've got crow-looking motherfucker, which is, your little witchcrafty thing. And then you've got the pig with a beer belly that's your Firefly Funhouse. You've got different stages of Wyatt in each of those characters. That's the reason he's the hillbilly.
But I think there's too much of it. Like, for instance...
You can argue that.
Like with The Undertaker, for instance, because I'm always going to use him as the example because he's the height of supernatural wrestling, isn't he? He's the height of gimmicked wrestling, where it's that thing of, okay, there's some silly stuff, but I can believe that because he genuinely looks like the Dark Lord. So it's like Kane, for instance, he did a lot of stupid shit, but he's also 7 foot tall and fucking monstrous with a mask on. Like, he actually looks like I can believe that Prime Kane could legitimately in real life, if he walked into a room full of people trying to take him out without guns, obviously, because that kind of levels the playing field quite a bit. But I can believe that he could actually smash his way through numbers of people before he's brought down, because he's just a fucking monstrous human being. Same with Brock Lesnar. If I let Brock Lesnar loose in a fucking pub in Britain, he's going to beat everyone up. He is. Like, nobody's going to stop him, because he's a fucking animal. And the same with Bobby Lashley. And so even with Bray Wyatt, he's fucking beefy as fuck. Then you see Uncle Howdy, who is this essentially a twink in a leather jacket with a random mask and a cowboy hat on. And you're like, why do you need that? Because why did you bring the Firefly Funhouse back as well? Like, you don't, it's almost like sensory overload. Like, yeah, all these things can be entertaining, but I almost feel like they're shooting their load and just throwing it all out there. And it's like, okay.
So the characters, I'll say this from a storyline writer thingy point of view. For the build up, they had those characters all the way through. With the arguments between him and LA Knight, he kept on mentioning going back to the Funhouse. Go back to the Funhouse. Go and play with your toys and shit like that. So bringing those characters, those characters were just a hint that he was coming. And again, it was the stages of Wyatt. When he did go back into the Firefly Funhouse on the promo bit, that was it was a nod. It's like, okay, I'm back here. I shouldn't be. I don't want to be. And that's where the kind of the personality thing comes in, because he's trying to get out of that, but isn't quite there yet. I can see what they're doing. I can see what Wyatt's doing with it. I'm not saying it's a great idea. Yeah, I get you. It's fucking, there's a lot to it.
I worry it's going to get lost in translation again, because it has done twice already. And I worry that it will again. Because the other thing as well is, why LA Knight? Because you knew he was going to lose. He was ultimately going to fail because he's the first opponent. There's no way you're going to have Bray Wyatt lose his first match back, because that's ridiculous. But it's that thing of, okay, could you not have picked somebody else then? Because I feel like LA Knight has a much higher ceiling than, say, Chad Gable or even an Otis or somebody like that. Why couldn't they? Because Chad Gable, very entertaining, very good on the mic. Why couldn't he have been like, look, I'm an athlete. I'm a serious competitor. I don't take this stupid stuff seriously. And yet you can still believe that Bray Wyatt would kick his fucking ass because he's psychotic and mental. And Chad Gable is very straight-laced and, a bit of a fucking, he's a bit of a norm, isn't he? Like, that's the whole gimmick, is that he's like, oh, I'm very straight-laced. I do everything properly. I drink milk like Kurt Angle did when he first came in. And it's that thing
you don't want two gimmick wrestlers against each other.
But LA Knight is a massive gimmick wrestler in the sense of, like, charisma and promos and stuff like that.
No, but he's just a dick.
But then but he's also one of the best at it. So it's like, it doesn't really make sense that. So now I'm sitting here thinking, right, I've just seen you get essentially destroyed by Bray Wyatt and all these freaky fun pals from his firehouse and all this shit. So now it feels like it's going to take a lot longer for him to be built up. I don't think he comes out of this looking like a megastar.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No. But he should. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's good enough to be, because he's better on the mic than 99% of the people on the roster, and he's also just as good in the ring. Like, he is. LA Knight is the kind of guy that if he had rocked up in the Attitude Era, when you had guys like The Rock and Austin, you would have believed that this guy could main event WrestleMania. And I still feel like he's got the potential to do that now. So I don't understand why you would sacrifice him to Bray Wyatt when you have a roster full of people. And there's probably 10, 15 guys who could have easily filled that role who won't be hurt as much because they're not at an elevated position anyway. With LA Knight, I feel like you've cut his legs off very early. So now you've got to rebuild him again. Like, there's so many guys who aren't used as much or just have random matches. Why couldn't you have thrown one of those in?
Because you don't want to have a jobber when Bray Wyatt comes back.
But now he feels like a jobber to me, albeit a very glamorous one because he's lost to a high opponent. But I like, for instance, if LA Knight comes out on SmackDown this week and says, I lost to Bray Wyatt, but I'm still the man and I'm challenging Gunther, I'm like, why? Like, you know, I'm going to be like, no, absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense from a storyline perspective. I feel like one of the things with wrestling it is subjective at the end of the day. And it's one of those things where, case in point, like with AEW, when they started, they were like, wins and losses are going to matter. So they always show the wins and losses. Even if you're suspending your disbelief, winning is still everything as a competitor. So you should be winning matches. So, for instance, how many times have we seen a guy lose to someone small or someone more insignificant, and then randomly they get a title shot the next month against the biggest guy in the company? And you're like, why? I just watched him lose to this gimp. Why am I supposed to believe he can now knock off the big cheese, the guy who is the most dominant person in the company? Because the whole point of you being champion is that you're better than everybody else. That's the whole point of being the champion. I'm not saying, obviously, LA Knight's going to challenge, you know, Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, which is next, which should be fucking good. But it's that thing of, I just don't understand why LA Knight had to be the guy in that position. I feel like there's so many other guys who are good mid, strong mid, like someone like Ricochet would have, you know, I know obviously because he's a good guy.
You know what? Yeah.
But it's that thing of like,
I'll go with that.
You know, Ricochet would have been fine in that scenario if he was kind of like, you know, oh, you know, like, I like you, Bray, but ultimately, like, you're not going to come in here and take my fucking spot from me. And then he gets beaten in that manner. It's like, okay, fair enough. With LA Knight, it's like, yeah, okay, we wanted to see him lose because he's a gobshite, but I feel like his upside is so big. And it's the same when EC3 was in WWE for a little bit. I don't know if you watched any of that. For some reason, they just buried him outright. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was from TNA. Because in NXT, he was big, and then he came into WWE, and immediately he was like jobbing in 3 minutes to all these different people. And you're like, what? Why? Like, this guy has the body, the charisma. He's one of the best mic workers in all of wrestling. And it's that thing of, I don't have a massive issue with LA Knight losing to Bray Wyatt. I just feel like all the while you've got other people who can lose and not look as damaged. What is the point of throwing him in there?
I get that. I do get that.
I'm pretty sure we were talking about the match after that, which was Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. But
we were.
There is quite a lot of Bray Wyatt's DNA all over this stuff at the moment. And I think ultimately I want to see him moving in the right direction. And right now he's not really moving in any direction. He's just around and doing weird supernatural shit. And even with Undertaker and Kane, there was a purpose to all of that. When Kane made his debut and ripped the door off of the Hell in a Cell and attacked Undertaker, it was immediately evident this is Undertaker's scarred, maniacal, psychopathic brother who wants revenge because he burnt down their fucking house. So immediately you're like, okay, this is the guy who's like, I'm going to challenge you as the big dark entity of this company. With LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, it was like, why exactly is LA Knight and Bray Wyatt getting in a feud in the first place anyway? What really caused that? Bray Wyatt just kind of appeared and randomly attacked him, and you're like, right, why? Like, there wasn't really.
The problem with WWE is they've no idea. Yeah, they've no idea. WWE have no idea what they want to do with Bray Wyatt or Alexa Bliss.
That definitely.
So they'll just keep on throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
The thing is, I think yeah, absolutely, I am impatient. And I think if they're going to go for a long story here, I have to wait and see how it pans out. In a year's time, I might think, you know, it all makes sense now. But in the moment, I get the allure of keeping people guessing and the mystery of what's he going to do next? What's this QR code mean? What's this mysterious video mean? But it's been that way for what, 3, 4, 5 months now? It's like, do something. Get to the fucking point. At least have a goal that you're aiming for. Like, if you name a random wrestler and Gunther, for instance, I'm the IC champion. I want to prove that I'm the most dominant wrestler in the company. I think the mat is sacred. I think that wrestling should be more pure. Okay. Roman Reigns, I'm part of the bloodline. We are at the top. We're at the pinnacle of the business. And we feel that we are above everybody else. And so the main goal is always to maintain the hold of those title belts, because that essentially means that we are the best in the business. Everything. Braun Strowman, I'm a monster amongst men. I want to smash people up. Chad Gable, I'm a great Olympic athlete. I believe that, again, the mat is sacred and that ultimately people should be quiet because I'm more important, because I'm an obnoxious arsehole. And there's hundreds of different guys in this company, and women as well. And they all have a mission as to what they're trying to prove to you as an audience member and the people they're wrestling. With Bray Wyatt, I'm like, what exactly are you doing? Just running around like a maniac. And yeah, that is a gimmick in itself, but you're not doing anything. Like, you beating LA Knight doesn't mean anything. It's like, okay, cool, you beat LA Knight, now what? If he comes out on SmackDown and attacks Gunther and says, you know, I need the IC title because that will somewhat, you know, prove that I am a great athlete and a great talent, as not just this maniacal lunacy, you can understand that. You know, okay, fair enough. Let's see how that goes. But instead, like, every week he's coming out and cutting these stupid promos where he's not saying anything. And I think that's very frustrating to me as well, because he's an amazing promo. But a promo, you'll know this because you work in our business. When guys cut promos, there has to be a point to it, doesn't it? Whether it's a date to a show, whether it's an opponent, whether it's, you know, building a rivalry. Bray Wyatt's not doing any of that. He's just randomly cutting out and cutting. Hey, man, I'm all crazy, man. Like, the voices towards me. Yeah, the voices, can the voices give you some direction now? Because I'm kind of a bit bored of seeing you wander around in UV and have some random twink dressed as a fucking cowboy from Tombstone following you around. It's very strange. Like, make it make sense.
The problem is, the problem is now they don't have Undertaker and they don't have Randy Orton at the moment. That was when Bray Wyatt made sense. Right now, there isn't anyone to play with, and they're trying to find someone to play with.
Yeah,
I would say Seth
doesn't work.
No, I would say Seth Rollins would be a good fit.
Well, there's built-in storyline there as well, because Seth Rollins beat The Fiend inside Hell in a Cell, and then Seth Rollins lost the Universal title to The Fiend in Saudi Arabia. So it's that thing of, like, Seth Rollins could come out and be like, no, we're not having this again. Like, last time you were here, you cost me my title, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to fucking dismantle this Fiend shit before it even gets started. Whereas with LA Knight, it was like, he didn't even start on Bray Wyatt. They just randomly just fucking bumped into each other when they were backstage, and then he nutted him for no apparent reason because he thought he was rude, which is fine. But then it didn't build to anything. And then even then, Bray Wyatt was backpedaling from him, saying, I don't want to fight you. Like, you know, just go away. I've got other things to do. And LA Knight was like, no, you've nutted me. So now the fight's on, essentially. Like, you know, I feel like Bray Wyatt has all the potential in the world to be the biggest megastar in professional wrestling history, but they never seem to get the direction right with him. And until they can prove me wrong on that, I'm still going to think that this is going to end up like The Fiend or whatever, where, you know, he's a burning corpse or he's melted or whatever. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is he burning? And like, just fucking make it make sense. Like the Women's Rumble, for instance, which made perfect sense because Rhea Ripley won. Which was, this match is a weird one because I didn't think it was as good as the men's. I thought the men's was better. I thought it had better wrestling in it. I enjoyed the storytelling to a certain degree. I like some of the surprises. Some of the NXT, like the NXT champion was in this, Roxanne Perez, who I think is adorable. She's wonderful.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's got great babyface potential. She's an example of someone who's smaller, but still has the athleticism and the strength, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because, like, with Alexa Bliss, it's like, oh, look how pretty and how maniacal. So, whereas Roxanne Perez is like, no, I'm just going to fucking throw everything I have at this to be the very best. And she has the credibility of being a champion, albeit on the developmental brand. But Rhea Ripley winning is the right choice. The thing that stood out to me, which I thought was awesome, was Asuka coming back with her more dark Kana-like appearance that she used in Japan.
Fucking loved that.
That was the highlight of the Rumble.
Popped well and truly
and Liv Morgan pretty much going the distance, much like Gunther did, but not winning, which was fantastic. Liv Morgan is kind of, this is the example that I used when we were talking about Alexa Bliss. When you watch Liv Morgan, yeah, she's just as small and as pretty, but she's using that maniacal, psychotic edge to her to push herself further than maybe her body would normally allow her to. So in many ways, it's like, all I need to do is survive. I just need to fucking survive. As long as I can take the punishment, I can survive. And ultimately, Rhea Ripley just gets her at the end with that very clever head scissors and gets the win, which I thought was really cool. And she's got, like, even when she was spat in the face, out of instinct, she's still fighting from underneath. Which is good. It was like watching the old catchweight UFC fights, the Pride Fighting Championship, where they have like you've probably seen the footage, the huge fat Samoan guy against the tiny little skinny black guy, and he's fighting from underneath, and he's like, "Get off me, you fat piece of shit!" And she was kind of going for that, like, I know that you're bigger and more powerful than me, so I need to get in the clinch and try and dirty fight my way out of this. And that's something that she does so much better than Alexa Bliss, who tries to stand up and directly fight with them, which for me makes you look a bit silly and it makes the product look more silly. Whereas with Alexa Bliss, it was like, yeah, I'm fighting from underneath. But I mean, Asuka coming back was sick. I didn't really like Michelle McCool being in the Rumble, especially as they'd already spoiled it. Also, it kind of ruins the allure of what it makes a wrestler special. For me, when you watch wrestling, what makes wrestling special is the fact that you are not a wrestler. So when you watch it as a fan, these are supposed to be larger than life, aren't they? The reason we go and watch these is because they are a spectacle. It's like watching Iron Man and Captain America have a fight, because they're the superheroes and you're just a normal person watching it. So you're like, oh, you're in awe of these things. So Michelle McCool's at ringside for the whole show, just randomly gets up. She's got some gear on underneath and just gets in the ring and is able to apparently fend off some of the most seasoned women's wrestlers. And I'm like...
She didn't have gear on, though. She was still in her rug boots.
Yeah, but for that for me made it worse in a way, because it was almost like what they were. Yeah, okay, she used to be a wrestler, so we know that she can handle herself, and she is a martial arts expert, which helps, I suppose. And she's the Undertaker's.
But it's just like suddenly. But even she, I guess the storyline was even she didn't know she was going to be in it. She was there as a fan, and all of a sudden her name came up, and she was like, "The fuck."
Yeah, and
that's why she's fighting in leggings and bits.
And then she's in there for like 20 minutes, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah,
like, she should have had a nice little flurry, and then someone like Rhea Ripley should say, "Get the fuck out of my house because I belong here. You are archaic. Nobody cares about you anymore. You're part of that old era where all the women were very pretty. This is the evolution of women. We're the strong, powerful women now. Get out. You're part of a bygone era that nobody cares about." And instead, she was just hanging in there, and I was like, and she's not wearing wrestling gear. She's not warmed up or stretched or anything in, kayfabe. So you're sitting there thinking, why should she at any point have any chance in this match? Like, she really shouldn't. If she had at least come out through the entranceway with her proper gear on, you could have said, okay, fair enough. She's got herself ready and she's making one little go of it. And, they could have said on commentary, she's been in training for this. She's been training for months, but, she's still a surprise to most and whatever. But there was nothing there. It was just, she just randomly appeared out of the crowd. And also, for me, Michelle McCool is...
But it just me.
What was that?
Go on.
I was going to say, for me, Michelle McCool feels like part of the bygone era of divas, and we're no longer part of that anymore. So I look at people like Rhea Ripley and Asuka, and I'm thinking they should be ripping her skin off. They should be whipping her.
But you even said yourself. She's a martial arts expert. Her coming in and going into that and going, right, the fuck's going on? Obviously, someone behind the scenes has put her up to it. Sonya Deville's put her up to it or some shit, or put a name in the hat. There's a feud there. She's coming back into it. Simple as that.
It also doesn't help that she was never a big deal anyway back in the day. And it's that thing of like, you could have had Lita or Trish Stratus come out here, or Mickie James could have come out again like she did last year as the Impact champion, which was amazing.
But they've all been. Yeah, but they've all been in. That's the thing. They've all been in. This was someone new that people may or may not have recognized.
I just feel like, okay, cool. You could have used another one of the NXT women, and that would have been a much better thing for me. You got Cora Jade in there.
I think it'll make sense later on down the line.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think this is just a one-off thing. You're not going to see her again. It was just for the fun.
If that's the case, then fuck them.
See, that's the thing.
Just fuck them.
I think it's a one-off, and if it is, then it's like, well, what was the fucking point? You could have given somebody that, like, you know, that's where people get angry, don't they? They say, oh, how come these fucking people come back and take up at these spots when you've got a guy who's been working on the show regularly for 2 or 3 years? And you think, that's the case with a lot of the women. Like, you know, what about one of Toxic Attraction? Like Gigi Dolin could have come, you know, somebody like that could have come out and made a name for themselves and got more exposure. And instead, we're like, we'll give it to the Undertaker's wife because the Undertaker's backstage and obviously he's a legend. So we want to do right by him by letting his wife be in the Rumble. And I'm like, I don't care. I do not give a shit about Michelle McCool. Nobody did when she was a wrestler, when she was even champion, because she was Divas champion. And also, she had the worst run because she held the belt. She was a co-holder with Layla. I don't know if you remember that. And they had half a belt each. It was broken, which immediately like nullifies the championship itself. It makes it mean less. So she was always like, you know, oh, look at me. I'm this pretty leggy blonde girl who, you know, I'm a diva. And her gimmick also was that she was a bully. So she would fat shame Mickie James and other wrestlers. And it's like, in this day and age, that's just fucking weak sauce.
Fuck them. Yeah, fuck them.
So... But I still enjoyed the match. I thought the standouts for me were Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, because she won and she was amazing and went from number one and still won. JC Cardi laughing his ass off to the bank. He was furious in the sweepstake when he got number one in both Rumbles. I was like, that's just weird. And he ended up making more money than anyone else because he got Gunter and Rhea Ripley. Jokes.
Fucking prick.
Hilarious. So well done, lad. Yeah, so that's the funny thing though, because next year everyone in the sweepstakes is going to want number one, and then we're going to find out like number 27 is going to win. So you know,
I don't even know who I got in the women's.
I do have the list here, so I can look at it. Rhea Ripley.
I don't give a shit. Go on, Karen.
No, I was going to say you must be extremely fucking happy that Rhea Ripley won.
Very much so. Just because I do.
Right?
I'm very much a pervert, so she can kill me happily. Take that out of the situation. The woman is a fucking beast. She is a specimen of a human being.
Your pick, by the way, the woman you got in the sweepstake was number 23, Mia Yim. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I won't complain at that.
Yeah, she's lovely, but it was an utterly irrelevant fucking pick.
Yeah. Well, I had two.
Yeah, no, that was... you did. You had two. So you had Mia Yim, and you also had number 28, who was, if I look at the thing, number 28 was Shotzi. So, who, ironically enough, was eliminated by Mia Yim.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is me all over. But no, so Rhea Ripley she could kick the asses of most of the men's roster. She is just fucking amazing. Her going in at number 2 and winning was well deserved. No, sorry, one and winning was very well deserved.
By the way, in the men's, you had Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. So, great wrestlers, if that helps.
Yeah. The big surprise for me and the thing that I fucking adored was Nia Jax coming back.
Even though it was botched.
Yeah, even though it was botched, I still fucking
pissed me off because, okay, so a lot of people don't like Nia Jax anyway because she's deemed unsafe because she broke Becky Lynch's nose, and then she's had a lot of high-profile matches where she's injured people, and I think after a while it's like it goes from being an accident to being a regular thing. You know, once it becomes a habit, all of a sudden people like are just not going to like you. But then it's also a case of the people who are saying she's unsafe, etc., all the fat marks who have never even taken a bump. So it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, like, I'd rather hear the opinions of people in the locker room. If all the other women are like, no, she's great and she's fine and this shit happens, I'm like, cool. Well, in that case, give her a fucking chance to wrestle. It's also worth pointing out she's an anti-vaxxer, and that's why she was released in the first place.
Fuck Nia Jax. Fuck her.
Okay,
fuck her.
So, wow, that was the quickest turn in the history of wrestling.
I'm very good at it. Very good at it.
Do you know what?
Fuck Nia Jax.
She's an anti-vaxxer. Fuck that bitch.
Fuck Nia Jax.
What I don't understand is, so the Women's Rumble was second, right? That was the second one we saw of the night. So we had 59 entrants with no problems. And then number 30, you accidentally play her music before the timer starts. Then the timer comes up as she's coming out, and then like, get off the screen. She's already out there. Like, you work on the cue. So it's not her fault. Someone in a gorilla position would have said, go. So she's like, cool, I'm ready to go, play my music. She walks out. Like, and then it's like, well, and anyway, she wouldn't have had a choice because the music played. So it got a pop. But what would have made sense is if there was no timer, and instead of number 30, she just decided, I'll do what I fucking want because I'm the destroyer here. I'm big. So I'm just going to fucking come out now and smash everyone up, even though I'm number 30 or not. And instead, it was like, fuck's sake, this is your biggest surprise you've got in the Women's Rumble, and you spoiled it, but with a technical fault, which should not have happened because you had done 59 other numbers just fine. So how does that happen? That shouldn't happen. Someone needs to be fired. That's what needs to happen there. You fucking gimp. And also, it didn't help that, although, yeah, it was very cool that Rhea Ripley hit her with Riptide, but it was a bit botched because of her size and that. She couldn't like bump for it properly and stuff, and it just didn't look that great. But I thought it was nice to see Nia Jax. Whether we're going to see her regularly or if it's just a one-off deal, I have no idea. But I feel like their women's division could do with a Destroyer, could do with another big one. It was very cool as well that Piper Niven got her name back as well. That was nice to see. Instead of that stupid Doudrop shit, which is a fucking
that fucking did my head in. Piper Niven has wrestled up in Morecambe for Alpha Omega, was back in the day. She was in the team with Nikki Cross, and she was always a beast. She was always someone who just fucking worked and was a monster. And she goes into WWE and they call her Dewdrop.
Yeah, she's Ava Marie's bitch.
Lackey.
The worst women's wrestler of all time as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, fuck you.
But that plays into my argument earlier about this whole sense of realism. Like, why do you need to call her Dewdrop? Why does she need to be a joke? Do you remember she was coming out and doing a little dance with her little fingers? And you're like, this is a fucking legitimate Scottish Leviathan who could run over most of your women. And you're having her doing a little dance, and she's called Dewdrop, which apparently is like a slang term for having a shit. What? Like, that's fucking depressing, is what that is. So her
fuck you, WWE.
Yeah, do fucking better. And they have done better because they've given her a name back. For me, the highlights definitely were Rhea Ripley winning, Liv Morgan being the greatest woman to ever live, and Asuka coming back was sick. Escana, she looks so fucking good. I think if they're smart, you have Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, the big clash between the most powerful women, the two specimens of the women's division, and you have Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title.
Yes.
And Asuka rights the wrong of losing her streak to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 34 all those years. And that is perfect storytelling. So if that happens, I'm going to be a very, very happy man when it comes to women's wrestling at WrestleMania this year.
Go for it.
I just worry that they might shit
event.
Asuka after about 3 months and she'll go back to just being doing nothing and randomly having crap tag team matches, in which case, fuck you, WWE.
It's WWE, of course they fucking will.
Oh, yeah. Like, they'll probably make her come out dressed. Have you seen Saray in NXT? So they brought in Saray.
No.
So she's this amazing, like, buzzsaw-like Japanese women's wrestler, very similar to Io Shirai, who's now Io Sky. Like Kairi, those kind of women, like Asuka. So she came in NXT and she had a few matches where they were like, she's stiff as houses and kicking the shit out of women. And then one day she turned up on NXT dressed as a Japanese schoolgirl, like an anime Japanese schoolgirl, like at a hentai, literally. And I was like, Bruce Pritchard, please go and fucking die in a hole somewhere, you fat sack of shit. Because I know you put him up to that. I just think it's ridiculous that, Triple H has to take time out for a fucking heart defect or whatever it is. The poor man is extremely ill. While he's gone, they turn Saray, who could potentially be the next Asuka, into an anime schoolgirl. And now she hasn't been seen for fucking ages. And you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. What is wrong with you? Not everything has to be, it's that Vince thing of like that stupid cartoon childish bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
But this Women's Rumble did what it was supposed to do. It made Rhea Ripley the big monster star. Didn't really make sense that Beth Phoenix didn't come out, because why couldn't you be in the Women's Rumble? Or why didn't you just attack her anyway? If you randomly were happy to attack her during the Men's Rumble, what is that it? You're happy with just a spear? From a storyline perspective, it would have made more sense if she'd run out and tried to get involved in the Rumble as well. Or maybe she's beating the shit out of Rhea Ripley, and then another woman sneaks up behind her, throws her out, and it's like, You fucking bitch. I'll come back to you, Rhea Ripley, but you fucking bitch. And then you can sort of keep her busy until after WrestleMania. And then Rhea Ripley's first opponent as champion, perfect, having her against Beth Phoenix, who's looking for ultimate revenge because of what you did to her husband. You know, but Rhea Ripley
Makes
winning.
sense.
Rhea Ripley winning. I would have personally, it was like Gunther in the sense of, even though I knew Rhea Ripley was going to win, I kind of wanted Asuka to win at the end just because she looked incredible and so powerful. But I'm happy with either of those women being in a prominent position. And ultimately, I'm happy that she won. And I think it was made better by the fact that Ronda Rousey wasn't in it, even though she lost her title and stuff like that, because I feel like she would have taken too much away from Rhea's moment being in a match like that. You can bring Ronda Rousey back later after WrestleMania or something and have her face Ripley or, you know, Asuka or whoever is women's champion that you feel is necessary for her to face. So, yeah, no, it was good. Was there any women that you hadn't seen before that stood out to you?
No, that I hadn't seen before. I was familiar with most of them. And so Nikki
What do you think
Cross
about Lacey
being
Evans?
there was
Back again, another gimmick, another fucking
back again with another gimmick. That's fucking
third
pointless.
time in like a year. It's like, I feel
just
sorry for her.
Fucking pointless.
She's quite strong and she's very beautiful and she's very powerful. The crowd don't like her. So it's like they just will not get behind her. She's one of those people, like, it doesn't matter what she does. She could literally fucking say she could cure cancer on air and they'd be like, boo, you piece of shit, because that's just the way they've been hardwired now to think about her. But I don't get why she isn't more popular, because she's got all the tools. She's beautiful. She's a blonde bombshell. She looks like the old pin-up girls that you saw on the side of Lancaster Bombers back in the day. Like, she's powerful. She's a legitimate army veteran, you know, military police. So you know that she can handle her fucking shit. She's jacked. Like, she should be in a more prominent position. And yet, because of the amount of shit that fans give her, the company have just lost faith in her. And now she's Cobra Clutch Lacey Evans. I'm like, what is that? That's her gimmick, that she's Cobra Clutch and she uses the Cobra Clutch. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Zelina Vega coming out as some ridiculously hot Street Fighter anime character was fucking immense. Like, my nerdism was going off the radar for that. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, it helps obviously that she is easily one of the hottest women walking this earth. But, you know, like, she's fucking cool. And also, it's very clever. Did you notice they were advertising the fact that, you know, Street Fighter, when she came out, that's good fucking sponsorship, not Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
It's very good advertising.
Street Fighter 6, that's where the money's at. Thank you very much. Or Street Fighter 5, or whichever one's next. Like, you know, bit like when Bullet Club were in Tekken. That's cool. That's fucking cool. That's pop culture. That's very clever. Not Mountain Dew, which makes my piss. Ultimately, the whole point of that Mountain Dew Pitch Black match was, this is what your piss looks like if you drink this. Explosive yellow.
When can I get a bottle?
I know, right? Can you imagine that? That's a real party piece, isn't it?
It'll be different color instead of green.
Check this out, guys. Spraying neon around all over the place. Brilliant. So, yeah.
I've been told I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Oh, okay. Any final thoughts on the Women's Rumble?
No, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. But, like, last year, I thought the Women's Rumble was so much better than the men's. This year, I thought the men's was better. I felt like there was more star power and stuff like that, and it just tickled my pickle a bit more. But it's subjective at the end of the day. I didn't think it was terrible by any means, apart from a couple of silly botches, and Nia Jax especially. That was a massive botch which detracted from the entertainment, because I was really jarred by that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm supposed to be like, if it's like 30, here it comes, counts down, and then it's like, I'm not like basket. You're like, oh fuck yeah, Nia Jax is number 5. That's a big deal.
I wonder who's in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder who's in now.
Let's see what you could have won. Ridiculous. And of course, the main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns successfully defends against Kevin Owens. But the story here is Sami Zayn, who I thought this was a masterpiece. This is by far and away the best storytelling I've seen WWE do for probably the last 10, 15 years. Absolutely shell-shockingly emotional. I genuinely at one point was like, I'd lost my sense of, I completely sustained, you know, my disbelief. I got to a point where I was like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Like, the bit where Kevin Owens gets his fucking back and head smashed into the steel steps was like, gnarly. I've never seen that. And ultimately, that's something where that just hurts. There's no way you can fake that. That is horrible. And, and Sami Zayn's facial expression's like, that's enough, Roman. That's enough. You've proved your point. And he tries to stop him. He's like, you do it. And he gives him the chair and he's handcuffed and the Usos are beating the shit out of him. And they're like, you're finally going to be, you're no longer honorary. And he hits Roman Reigns with the chair. And you get that massive, there's this amazing camera shot where, and I'll put it on the Wrestle Plug thing. I don't know if you saw it on the Facebook page, where Roman is like, kind of like, like, where he's just been hit and he's on the ropes and Sami Zayn's behind him. And then somebody posted, and it was exactly the same image as when Seth Rollins turned on him, and someone said he's still got PTSD from when Rollins turned on him. Like, and it's that thing of like, first of all, incredible storytelling and a great callback to when he was turned on before, but it's also that thing of Sami Zayn finally snaps and he's like, no, I can't fucking justify this. That's my best friend. That's the person I've spent 25 years traveling the world with, making a name in Ring of Honor, in NXT, in WWE. And you know what? Yeah, I was willing to turn my back on him to be a part of this faction, but not for this. This is too much. And he hits him the once, and then obviously he gets devastated. And on top of that, as if that would have been enough, that I was honestly almost moved to tears. Jey Uso gets out of the ring and says, no.
That's it.
I can't do it. I cannot watch this. And he leaves. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because it jeopardized.
It was Jey turning around. Yeah. But it was Jey turning around and going, you were my brother.
Yeah.
Like that got me. I'm like, you were my brother. Fuck me.
But then it's also that thing of like, Jay's also like, he's disappointed that Sammy's done that. But then he's also like watching Sami getting fucking destroyed. And then Roman looks at him as if to say, you're going to get in on this. And he's like, no, I can't. Like, it doesn't matter how much Sami Zayn pissed me off and how much I hated him. I cannot bring myself to hurt him that much. That's too much. We've gone from being, it's that thing. It's like the classic movie with the hitman where he goes too far. The torture scene's too far, And he's like, I can't watch this. I need to leave the room. That's what it was like. And it was so beautifully done. And Jay's like borderline almost in tears, like walking away like this. And then he posts on Instagram a photo of himself looking shell-shocked. And he puts a bloodline symbol, just a blood teardrop. And he says, I'm out. I'm done. And it's like, fucking, what does that mean?
It's stunning storytelling.
Now all of a sudden you're
absolutely beautiful.
What about the tag team championships? You're one half of the tag team titles. Like, you're the longest reigning tag team champions of all time with your brother Jimmy. And it's like, who would have thought? You all would have thought Jimmy would have been the one who would have said no because he loved Sami more than anyone else. And instead it's Jay who hated him and didn't trust him the most. He's like, I can't watch this. I cannot watch you do this to him. And so I'm leaving. And you're watching the Bloodline, which is, for me, the greatest faction since the old days of NWO and DX and stuff like that. It's the best faction of all time in the modern era. And you're watching it completely unravel before your eyes. And it means that all eyes are on SmackDown. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going to happen this Friday night? Because Roman is going to be apoplectically rage. Kevin Owens... The image of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just laying there, these two friends who have spent their lives together and they're fucking basically been decimated, murdered beyond belief. And they're left as a symbol for everyone to see. And, just the callous nature of Roman and Solo, who are next level evil. And they're like, no, we've gone beyond being cool. Now all of a sudden we're just pure fucking hateful, driven evil. We will do whatever it takes to make sure I remain champion for the rest of time. And it's that thing of Cody Rhodes, he'll probably be the next challenger. Will Kevin and Sami Zayn align themselves with him to help get the belts away? Will Kevin and Sami regain their love and trust for each other? Will Sami get a chance to get proper redemption by knocking off Roman Reigns, or will he just cost him the top? Brilliant. And all of those things all sound amazing. So I now have to watch all the way through to WrestleMania to see what they're going to do. And because I just feel like it's going to get more crazy. There's going to be more emotion.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they have us gripped by the balls with this thing. And also the match itself was fucking phenomenal, albeit bit of a shame. Kevin Owens botched the moonsault, didn't he? Slipped on the ropes. And what I loved about that was, it's a botch, but the commentators were great. That's why it's high risk right there, because there is that chance it may not fucking work. And for the hundreds of times Kevin Owens has done that and it's worked, this time it didn't. and they covered it beautifully and just beautifully.
Something that I love as well is you can actually see Roman see it goes wrong and move to help him land.
Yeah,
I thought that shows trust.
yeah, and they called like an audible, and he was like, "Get up on the ropes and hit me with a swanton." And then all of a sudden, the crowd are like, "Right, we're back into it. Don't worry about it. It's fine."
Yeah,
and it's that thing of even the best wrestlers in the world will make mistakes. So it's a really good lesson for young and up and coming wrestlers to realize, because there's some people who are on the internet like showing multiple replays of this, and I'm like, fuck off. You can even stand.
When was the last time you tried to do that, for fuck's sake?
Exactly that. You fucking get in there and do it then. Like Kevin Owens is not, the fact that Kevin Owens can do a moonsault is ridiculous anyway. The fact that he can do a pop-up one where he sat there, jump and spin onto the top rope and moonsault, if I did that, I would die. I would legitimately break my neck, and I'm trained to wrestle. I would never even dream of trying that. And I've seen Kevin Owens hit it perfectly 50 times on John Cena, no less. So shit fucking happens. Get over it. It was a masterpiece. As close in terms of storytelling, it's beyond 5-star. It's something else.
Oh, it was beautiful. Itself, it was so stunning.
The match itself, from a psychological, this is why when people say to me, "Why do you prefer WWE to AEW?" It's because AEW can't give me that level of emotion and storytelling. They just can't. They're not on the same level as WWE when it comes to that stuff. I don't want to see just an outright great wrestling match. I need a story. I need my emotion. I need my heartstrings to be pulled. And that's what wrestling ultimately is that it's beyond just, because if it was just combat, I'd go and watch boxing or MMA. I want to see stories. I want to be drawn into something more emotional. And nobody has done that like Kevin Owens, the Bloodline, and Sami Zayn. They're the master.
The whole, I genuinely think the whole show was stunning when it came to storyline.
Yeah,
the
WrestleMania
storyline with Judge,
be a banger. It's going to go. It's going to go off, is what it's going to do. WrestleMania is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's just great. I liked it.
Does it whet your appetite to watch more of it? Are you looking forward to, like, say, Elimination Chamber this month?
Very much so. Yeah,
because that's
very much so. And I'm liking it being on Saturdays now.
Yes,
because then I can watch it on a Sunday and I don't feel like I'm having to catch up a couple of days later.
Yeah, because if it's on a Monday, you got to go to work, and then have you got the energy to watch it in the evening? Whereas now it's like,
and I do my radio show as well, so I'm not. Yeah.
So, and for someone like me who doesn't mind staying up for it, it's that thing of like, well, I don't have to worry about what I've got to do on Monday morning. I can sleep it off on Sunday, or I can hit the reviews and stuff. I can still go to work, and it's just a perfect place to have pay-per-views is on a Saturday night. It's brilliant. After watching something, every time I feel like WWE pisses me off, or they do something, oh, fucking this product pisses me off, I can't bother to watch it, they'll then pull this rabbit out of the hat, and you're like, I know what you're up to here. You can't walk away, because as soon as you do, they'll do something like this, and you'll regret the fact you missed it. Everyone's going to remember where they were when Sami Zayn hit Roman Reigns with a steel chair, because that is going to set in motion for the next year, arguably one of the greatest storylines in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Sami Zayn, the guy who was wrestling fucking Johnny Knoxville back in fucking April, just not.
That was still fucking ace.
Not even. Oh no, it was great. But it's that thing of look at the range of this guy. He's gone from being hit with a comedy giant hand by a jackass TV star to being in the most emotionally ferocious and upsetting angle you could possibly watch in wrestling. That's fucking that's fucking talent. That is.
Ever since their Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's beef, they have not been known what they needed to do with either of them. It's all just been flat for both of them, and the fact that this has come about is stunning.
They need each other, and ironically enough, Sami was doing great, but ever since Kevin Owens has come into this rivalry, it's like they just know they're perfect for each other. They're the ultimate pairing. They'll fight forever. They'll be friends forever. It's that thing of wherever Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are together, you're always going to get magic, and this is just like, this is next level. I can't imagine even they thought it was going to get to this point when they first started training back in Canada when they were wee nippers jobbing out for $50. Like, I can't believe they thought it was going to get to this point. A stellar pay-per-view. It's funny because a lot of people on the internet hated it, and I actually thought it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, same.
I personally think,
Three
and
stars, some funny bits.
coming from me, people are just so miserable, aren't they? Like, and they're just so unhappy. Why are you
We
watching
spoke
wrestling?
about that yesterday. We spoke about yesterday. People who are fans of a thing are the worst.
Tribalism. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can guarantee the majority of people shitting on it are AEW fans who don't want WWE to be good because they're desperate for. Why can't both of them be good? Like the same thing with DC and Marvel. Like I prefer DC. I can still watch both. It's not illegal. You're not.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
pick one. It is so funny. These fans, like, I don't like AEW because, in my opinion, objectively, a lot of it is not very good, and it's not very good wrestling. And there's way too many fucking mistakes, and there's bad booking, and there's a lot of botches and injuries. I've never seen so many injuries, and that puts me right out of the situation. But I still want AEW to be good, just because I don't like it now. I want someone to be out like, yo, you got to watch AEW this week because they're doing really good shit. Awesome. Let me fucking turn it on and watch it because I love good wrestling. And we should all be celebrating when wrestling's good, regardless of what company it is. But we're not going to do that because we're a bunch of tribalistic tarts. But yeah.
Fuck you, Brian.
Fuck off, Brian, you gimp. Fucking useless. But yeah, that was the Royal Rumble review, ladies and gentlemen. If you want more of myself, and of course, the far superior and legendary SilentMark, one word, then check out Silent and the Death Machine, where he will continuously be rubbing his nipples and enticing you with some of his magnificent soliloquies and inner monologues and making stuff like, that stuff. Whatever he's doing there. It could be anything. He could be pumping his seed into something. He could ultimately just be enjoying a burning sexual rave like Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. We don't know. But yeah, the only thing that would have made that match better for me is if you actually had a German MC over the top going, "Das ist Techno, yeah." I would have fucking lost my shit for that.
So I don't know why WWE did not learn their lesson with Naomi and realizing that having blacklight and a crowd of WWE fans, it will make it look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
It is also
like the
very
entire.
fun. Do you know what? I've never thought of this. I'm glad you just mentioned this. Naomi must be sitting there going, "That's my fucking gimmick. Done, innit? You pricks. You ruined it.
Yep.
No chance." Now all of a sudden it's Naomi needs to be sponsored immediately by Mountain Dew Pitch Black for the rest of time. Make your money. But yeah, amazing stuff. Thank you very much for joining us for the review, sir. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, check out Silent and the Death Machine on YouTube. Check out all our other content as well. We'll have a State of Wrestling address paired up with this as well. Hopefully dropping over the next couple of days, covering whatever minimal news there is. That'll be with the fuck boys from London. And yeah, until then, we'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Blog. Fucking Brian.
Bitches.
Fuck off, Brian. You cunt.